On the military, first, you're very involved in Veterans Affairs as chairman of the Armed Services Committee. What's happening with the veteran situation, which you've talked about, and just if you would, the future of women in combat?
I think the future of women in combat is a pretty easy one I'd like to take first. That is, if women are qualified, they are clearly should be engaged in combat if that is their desire to do so. We have all volunteer force. Women have already proven their mettle in various aspects of combat. I do believe we have to maintain the same physical standards. I really do, because when you're talking about people like special forces, they just really have to have the physical capability, and so you need to keep those same standards. But there's too many women who have been involved in too much combat for the old idea that women are not qualified. They're more than qualified. Our member of Congress from Tucson, Martha McSally, she was a commander of an A-10 squadron. She was in combat, and she not only was in combat, she led. So on the other,
Veterans.
It's a sad story, my friends. It all started here in Phoenix with 50 veterans allegedly died while awaiting care on a non-existent waiting list, and it's ricocheted throughout the entire VA. And there's good people who work for the VA, but the bureaucracy is really got a very long way to go. There's two really answers to this. One is hold people accountable, which they are still not doing. They've only fired one person. But the second thing is to give our veterans a choice. I negotiated after this scandal with Bernie Sanders. In those days, he didn't used to brush his hair. And he is an announced socialist, as you know. So his solution to the VA issue was just make the VA bigger. My solution was primarily based on the choice card. In other words, if a veteran lives a certain distance away or has to wait a certain period of time, that veteran can take a card and go to the health care provider of his or her choice. Now, I'd like to see that universal, but I had to compromise with Bernie on this geographic aspect of it all. There's no reason why a veteran should check in at the VA and then say you're on a waiting list for 2 or 3 weeks or a month. That's crazy. And so I want to see that happen. Second of all, is that, my friends, a lot of Americans are not aware that 8,000 veterans commit suicide every year. That's a national shame, of course. And we passed a bill, again, that I wrote called the Clay Hunt Suicide Prevention Act. I am very proud of the city of Phoenix. The city of Phoenix does not have a single homeless veteran because of work done by the city of Phoenix. And there's several indicators of a veteran who it may consider suicide, and one of them, prime indicators, is not having a home. So I'm very place to live. So I'm very proud of what we have done there. We have a long way to go. The VA does the best of anybody on PTSD, on traumatic brain injury, on prostheses, those things related to combat. But I have to tell you, my friends, as far as other areas of healthcare needs, they're outside or as good or better. So why not let the veteran choose as to where that veteran wants to go to get medical care? So it's like turning around a super tanker, my friends. It takes a long time to turn this whole thing around. We have a new head of the VA here in Phoenix who I just happened to have met today. I think she's doing a good job. I really do. But I also think you need to hold people accountable. And right now, people are not being held accountable.